And then they rigged the election. And then I said, I'm coming back. And I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup. What? I'm the most sued human being in history. I got impeached twice over nothing. Any politician that's ever been indicted won in elections. I got indicted so much, I got tired of calling my wife. Darling, I was just indicted again. She said, oh, darling, what? Oh, what does that mean? You know, she's very elegant. You saw that from the movie. She's not into the world of indictments. Rigged the election. I believe there was cheating.
What is happening in Fulton County?
I'm not doing anything. I'm not involved in it, but you're going to know what the ballots say because they're right now inspecting the ballot.
My indication that there's foreign influence.
Federal law enforcement's involvement in the search.
Excuse me one second. It's the media who has said that there's Russian interference in American elections. You guys have been saying that for many, many years. So the people in Fulton County. Well, the people in this room, considering that you all said for many years that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump, you should all be very happy that we finally have an administration that is looking into that, and we'll be happy to keep you posted.
The Republican Party.
We agree that Edward Snowden
that exposed the United States.
Is Tulsi Gabbard there?
I don't know, but you know, a lot of the cheating comes from international cheating. Do you think China tries to influence our election? If China or any of these countries are involved in our elections, that would bring her into it.
Did President Trump himself ever ask DNI Gabbard to head down to Fulton County, Georgia?
I've seen a lot of the media in this room get very caught up with the semantics of why Tulsi Gabbard is there. I will tell you why. Because election security is essential to national security. It is a part of Ms. Gabbard's role to make sure that American elections are free of foreign interference and that American elections are safe and secure. And so the ODNI director is working with the FBI on this effort.
But last night when he was asked about it, he said he didn't know why she was there. He didn't say that he directed her.
Well, did you look at the full entirety of his response? I was in the room for that NBC interview, Kristen, and he just said exactly what I told you, which is that election security is essential to national security. So you're taking like the first 3 words that he said to one question and not looking at his entire response.
Do you have any evidence that there was international interference in the 2020 election in this election center?
Well, what I do have evidence of, and what the media seems to be undermining, is why Tulsi Gabbard is there in the first place. Federal law that clearly assigns the DNI and the office with the statutory responsibility to lead counter intel matters related to election security. In fact, it is Tulsi Gabbard's job to ensure that our elections are safe and secure, and I don't understand why anyone in this room, considering you're all American citizens, I believe, and like to vote in our nation's elections, should have any problem with that whatsoever.
Tulsi Gabbard, who's doing a great job. Where's Tulsi? She took a lot of heat 2 days ago because she went in at Pam's insistence and she looked at votes that want to be checked out from Georgia. Why is she doing it? Because Pam wanted her to do it. Her position has to do with international. I say, well, the same people that said that, they've been saying Russia has been screwing our elections, okay? So let's assume Russia had something to do with it. They say, no, Russia didn't have. So now they're saying Russia had nothing to do with it. Because if I say Russia, that it's perfectly fine. But you could add China and about 5 other countries to it.
Months ago, I told you there's politics.
I love it.
Back it up! Off the street. Off the street. Everybody, I'm telling you right now, get off the street now.
We're going to have ICE surround the polls. come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
Steve Bannon recently said, quote, "We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November." Is that something that the president is considering?
That's not something I've ever heard the president consider, no.
Can you guarantee to the American public that ICE will not be around polling locations or voting locations in November?
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question, but what I can tell you is I haven't heard the president discuss any formal plans to put ICE outside of polling locations. It's a disingenuous question.
Group is going to be voting for this. Doesn't do it justice. In there.
The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
Great job you're doing.
America is back. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Tremendous, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the...
He says if they, meaning the states, can't do it honestly and can't be done properly and timely, then something else has to happen. What did he mean by that? Is he suggesting that the federal government count votes in elections?
And I just spoke to him about this, is that Republicans and Democrats in Congress should pass the Save America Act. This piece of legislation is going to ensure that states are abiding by federal election law by removing non-citizens from their voter rolls. In addition, the Save America Act will require voter ID to vote, and it will require proof of citizenship to register to vote. These are very common sense policies and proposals that 89% of our country agree with.
Save Act doesn't say anything about who counts votes, which has always been a state, a local, a county function. Why does he keep talking about somebody else, presumably the federal government, counting votes?
It's like California or in places like New York City, non-citizens are allowed to vote in state and local elections, and the federal government should absolutely do away with that.
It is inappropriate for a sitting president to personally involve himself in a criminal investigation tied to an election he lost. It is inappropriate for the Director of National Intelligence to insert herself into a domestic law enforcement operation far outside her statutory role. And if there is some foreign connection here, the Director of National Intelligence has clearly violated her duty to keep the intelligence committees informed, which she has not. Unfortunately, it appears there may be a coordinated effort to try to interfere in the 26th midterm.
And then they rigged the election. And then I said, I'm coming back.